It's summer and French vacationers are back on the road, on the rails and in the air. After 2 years of suffering through the pandemic, it's time to recharge, rest, and take in the sun.
Hi everyone and welcome to this edition of France in Focus. We're here at Paris-Plage where people are cooling off in the French capital. And as they're cooling off, the summer tourism season is heating up, with foreign tourists flooding the country. As for the French themselves, more than half of them are expected to take a summer holiday.
This summer, it's estimated that 33 million French people, or close to 1 in 2, are going on holiday. Bookings have increased by 11% compared to 2019, which was already a record year. At the start of August, the height of the holiday season, 90% of houses and flats up for rent are occupied. So where do the French go to relax? The most popular destination is the French Riviera. But the countryside is also very popular. There's been an increase in demand for areas in the southeast of the country. The French passion for camping is still alive and well, with the sector forecasting record numbers this year, over 130 million overnight stays compared to 129 million in 2019. When it comes to transport, the number of train ticket reservations has increased by 10% compared to 2019. On the roads, 4.5 million trips have been booked through BlaBlaCar, the French carpooling and bus site, the same amount as the summer before the pandemic. Despite a 19.4% increase in ticket prices, many French people plan to take the plane. But between strikes and the lack of staff in airports, many flights have been cancelled.
They're in the mode of summer, but just like much of the world, the French people are dealing with soaring inflation and high gas prices. And for that reason, they're staying closer to home.
Bringing a different meaning to the expression packing light. French holidaymakers are set to leave with less money in their pockets this summer, as is the case for these tourists in the country's south.
I'll buy my daughter small treats like ice creams, but no restaurants. That's not possible.
We're renting a small apartment instead of an all-inclusive package. It's cheaper.
64% of French people will be tightening their belts this year. They plan to spend an average of 1,641 euros. That's 124 euros less than in 2019. And a cheaper holiday also means a holiday closer to home.
Compared to last year, where we had people from the Paris and Oise regions, this year we're seeing that much less, and it's mainly people from Nord-Pas-de-Calais.
This family from Essonne near Paris usually travels to the southwest every summer, but this year it wasn't possible.
The campsite is in the south, so in terms of fuel and toll roads, it's relatively expensive and rental prices have risen hugely. We can't afford to spend that much for a campsite like that.
Instead, the family has opted for smaller and closer accommodation in western France. According to them, it means a saving of 2,000 euros.
And joining us now is Sandra Wabian. She is the director of Credoc, which is an organization that tracks consumer behavior here in France. Thanks for being with us.
Merci à vous.
So we know that summer vacation, the summer holiday, is always a very big deal here in France. What's different this summer compared to summers in the past?
What's different this year compared to other years is that, on the one hand, people with relatively high income want to make up for the past few years, to come back to old habits, to take more holidays, and to go and explore new horizons. Essentially because they have the money to do it, since they've been saving over the past few years because they couldn't travel. On the other hand, for people with lower incomes, the global rise in prices, especially the price of petrol, limits the possibilities of vacations. For those who do go on holiday, it will cost more. They'll have to decide how to spend less, like not going to restaurants so much, travelling for a shorter period, and for some, it means not going at all.
So we know a lot of people are traveling this summer, but there's also a big shortage of workers in the tourism industry. How is that playing into the situation? What effect is that having?
Alors c'est une industrie qui depuis longtemps en fait a du mal à recruter.
The tourism industry has been struggling to hire people because of the working conditions with very long hours, no consecutive days off, low pay, a lot of stress and pressure with regards to the hours and the clients.
Qu'il y a aussi une pression en termes d'horaire, en termes de relation à la clientèle.
So these working conditions are not very attractive. And to that, you can add the fact that recruitment's been down over the past 2 years because of COVID. And we know it's a sector where there's about 1/3 of staff turnover every year because employees work elsewhere the rest of the year, and many of them are very young. On top of all that, the labour market is doing well right now, so workers are in a position to choose better paid and more stable jobs.
Et ils vont un peu plus aller vers des emplois qui sont plus rémunérateurs, qui sont en CDI, avec des meilleures conditions de travail.
Well, summer vacation is a very cherished thing in France. At least that's the impression that most of us have. Why is that? And for example, how long does a typical French vacation last?
Alors en fait, c'est vraiment un préjugé sur les Français. Quand on demande
I think there really is a stereotype about French people.
quelle est la place des loisirs, des vacances.
When we carry out international studies on the importance of leisure in people's lives, the French are pretty low down in the results, especially when it comes to how much they spend.
Par exemple, les pays du Nord.
People from northern countries, for example, take more holidays, they spend more money, and they go further away.
Donc finalement, il y a un regard.
So it's not really fair the way holidays are seen here in France, especially because work is valued a lot here.
Très important, c'est la valeur travail.
Perhaps even too much.
Un surinvestissement en fait dans la valeur travail.
Now, over the years, camping has become very popular with the French. Is that ringing true again this summer?
Alors le camping, c'est effectivement
Camping has become a big success, but we have to remember that 6 out of 10 French people who go on holiday stay with friends or family. So that's the majority of people. They want to spend time with their loved ones, but they also want to save money.
Finalement, on va passer du temps avec ses proches et on va aussi faire des économies financières.
So what about the portion of the French population that is not traveling this summer? Why is that? Is this just a question of money, of resources?
Oui, le premier frein au départ en vacances, c'est vraiment les questions financières. C'est ça qui
Yes, the main reason for people not to take a vacation is money.
Modeste, partir en vacances, c'est 8% du budget. Donc c'est quasiment autant.
For a low-income family, taking a vacation represents 8% of the family budget, nearly as much as what a family would spend for food. So that really is a key issue.
Il faut pouvoir être en forme, se déplacer. Des raisons aussi de connaissance, savoir s'organiser.
Then there are other reasons. Health, for example. You need to be in good health to be able to move around. A good working knowledge, because today you have to book everything on your own. And it's sometimes really tricky on the internet, especially for older people.
Donc les publics les plus âgés ont eu moins l'habitude de faire ça. Et puis après,
and then there are also professional reasons. People who can't afford to stop working for a period of time because they risk losing clients, for example.
Des activités, des marchés qui pourraient leur passer sous le nez s'ils étaient en congé.
All right, Sandra Wabillon, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
France is the most visited tourist site in the world, and the tourism industry here is under intense pressure. With more French people staying home, that means there's limited space for others, especially in the south of the country. There's also an unwelcome impact on the environment.
Haven of peace unknown to most travelers for years. This beach on the tip of Brittany led a quiet existence until 2014. When the website called European Best Destinations ranked it 7th on its list of best beaches on the continent. The hype only grew bigger when The Guardian included it in the 50 best beaches in the world 2 years later. The place is now a magnet for social media influencers eager to get the perfect holiday content. But all that foot traffic is dangerous. The cliffs are unstable and starting to crumble, and protecting the site has become a challenge.
You have to climb back up to the fence. Between 2011 and today, visits to the site increased threefold. We went from around 20,000 to 65,000 people on this path every year, and that's not counting people visiting the wider area.
Popularity has a price, a lesson learned in other natural sites across France. In a first for the city of Marseille, the Cove of Sormieu is now monitored by French National Police.
Prevention starts with raising awareness about the environment. We're at the heart of a national park. Smoking and drinking are forbidden here.
Each summer, thousands flock to this national park every day, leading to soil erosion in some places. 2 particularly vulnerable areas have been cordoned off, authorities limiting the number of people who can access them. To visit the Sugiton and Despierres coves, travelers must now reserve their spot online, with only 400 available every day this summer.
That's it for this edition of France in Focus. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your summer, and we'll see you next time.